So we have with us Mr. Prabhat. Welcome to BW Business World. So my first question to you is, how can Gen AI is shaping up India's technological and digital economy, and how India can leverage it to address societal changes to drive inclusive growth?
See, I think the power of Gen AI is that it can listen to voices. It can, find out statements which are hidden deep, beneath a mass of information. So all of us know that in today's world, even in India, everywhere else, there is too much information. And sometimes genuine voices, genuine things just get, submerged, among this noise. So Gen AI has that power. It can really go through that large amount of data, text. It can figure out patterns. It can find out things which you could never find. So I think that is where it helps us in bridging that inequality everywhere. So I think that is one part which is very useful. The second part is Gen AI, given its capability around languages, and it can eventually connect to the rural masses, to everybody or at the ground level. See, all of the technologies that we have had so far, essentially, either it is in English, at best in Hindi. What about other languages? And if you think about it, a state like Chennai or a state like Tamil Nadu or a state like Karnataka, they have population which is as big as Germany, as big as France, right? So I think I personally feel, there is a lot of power, a lot of information which Gen AI can actually unlock for everybody.
So do you think India's business ecosystem is utilizing Gen AI to its full potential?
Yeah, I was on a panel discussion regarding this and I expressed my views over there and I'll repeat it again. See, in terms of adoption of Gen AI or, the interest in Gen AI, we don't see any difference between companies in the West versus companies in India. See, now, of course, one also needs to understand that a lot of computation will happen in the cloud, not on hardware, which is in your premises, number one. With internet present everywhere, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? And people working from home, the kind of talent pool that we are now able to at least use. So the adoption or the transmission of any new technology, the time is reduced now. So earlier it would take years for something to come from the West, where it was developed, to come to India. Why it's a matter of weeks over here. Even a new model which has been just launched, let us say, somewhere, within one day it's out here. I think there is no gap in terms of adoption. And Indian companies, they're already pretty well advanced. If you look at our banks in India, in terms of technology, they are in fact ahead of other banks in the US or other places in terms of adoption of technology. I think when it comes to Gen AI, personally, we feel all the corporates in India, they are really, using it, and they're trying to use it at least, right?
So you're talking about adoption of technology. Do you think these kind of technologies such as Gen AI poses any threat to data privacy and security? And how can government and private business stakeholders can collaborate to solve such issues?
I don't see that Gen AI poses some new challenge for data privacy. Data privacy has been an issue since long. You anyways need to protect your databases, protect your customer data. So, those issues I think are the same. So personally, if you ask me, will Gen AI create some new challenges for data privacy? I don't think so. The only challenge I see over here is the idea of deep fake. Now, over there, it can, gather more information, personalize more, the context in which you will you can become a victim. I think that is one challenge where we will face some issues, right? It can impersonate your voice. If somebody, let us say, calls you in your voice, right, and to your family, right? Those are the things which are not possible. I think that is where the real challenge would be. Otherwise, it's still the same.
So considering the rapidly evolving digital economy of India, do you think India can become a AI capital of the world to compete with the Western world in terms of innovation, while they have the much bigger resources than us?
See, with large language models, right, it is more like a recipe. Now that recipe is out. Of course, those who have invented this, they'll be ahead of the game. But that gap is going to get narrow. So there is no reason why, a country of 1 billion cannot build a new model, cannot build something, right? It will require computation, which is, of course, in shortage everywhere. And West would have more of it right now. But now the way, at least one area where everybody is working on is how we can reduce the dependency on GPUs. So there are a lot of companies working on this. So with some point in time, I don't know, I can't say that, let us say few years down the line, right? When your mobile phone itself is powerful enough to run a large language model, right? Then this whole gap will suddenly go away. So I think in that sense, Indians would be eventually at par or maybe just slightly behind the guys who really invented it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much.